It's racing time here at Tier 1 Safe Space Racing. This is your comment tonight, AJ Mars 7, and we have GB Sanderson here in the booth. Today we're going to be co-hosting this so everyone can enjoy a spicy race here at Spa for Champs. GB, what's your prediction for how many safety cars do you think that big hill is going to provide us?
Well, we saw, was it two or three in the Tier 2 race earlier tonight? We saw a couple of them at least. A lot of incidents in that race as well, so hopefully we'll get another dramatic race today, but it's...
Hold on, it's not changing. Ah!
It has done on my
What's
screen.
going on with my... Is it up? Okay. There we go. All right. My bad. Technical difficulties.
Let me just check. There we go.
Apologies, GB. Light streams up a little bit, guys. We apologize. Didn't mean to cut you off there.
Yeah, I think just let us know, chat, if you can hear us all okay. Just to double check.
Yeah, give us a setup check here. Everything coming through loud and clear for you guys. Want to check? Light streams acting
That's
a little
why
crazy.
That's why I couldn't hear anything on the live stream. I was checking that the audio would work. It turned out I had the stream muted, so what an absolute
Mission failed.
professional.
We'll get them next time.
We're hearing the weather forecast is a dry qualifying and dry race, so very similar to the tier 2 race earlier, having dry in both sessions.
Alright, we got UFR Grand with a prediction. Says 4 safety cars. Zampa is my pick to win. And thanks again, guys, for helping us out, confirming that everything's going good for us. We appreciate that.
Just looking at the moment, it's Boss Cookie in the Racing Point who is going to be the man to lead everyone away for the first set of laps in qualifying. It's actually quite a technical qualifying session around Belgium because given how long a lap is around this track, roughly around 1 minute 45, well, bit less than that for when you're on your quick laps, but you've got quite a long lap round here, and if you want to do 3 runs in qualifying, you have to be pretty sharp at getting in and out of the garage between each run. But looking down the order at the moment, Boss Cookie, as I say, he's going to be the man to lead the way in quali at the moment. Craig Conley and SSR Hamilton, so far the only people to be coming out of the pits on mediums, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Conley does tend to run a little bit different strategy, but I know Conley, man, he's a big telemetry guy. He runs a lot of data, so I know he's put in some time and he thinks that's the best setup for him. Probably gonna look at the medium soft, depending on how the safety car situation works out. We know there was a couple in Tier 2, as we mentioned, I being one of them. So, not a good day for me here in Belgium. But I'm hoping Tier 1 has a great race today. So before we get too far into the stream, I want to give a big shout out to everybody that came in for the Tier 2 race on the stream. We set record-breaking numbers for viewers on the Tier 2 stream, and we're looking to keep that rolling right on into Tier 1. So if you know somebody that normally tunes into this stream, get them in here.
The Racing Points, they might have messed up their strategy. They have completely messed that up. Rounding on board there with Boss Cookie, you saw coming up through Eau Rouge and Radion, but you might have noticed before with the track map there was his teammate going slow out of turn 1, and they were trying to line each other up for the slipstream going down the Camel Straight, but Neymar not timing that right for Boss Cookie and ended up catching up to him at the top of Radion, so not getting that benefit of the straight line speed. So whether that will have cost Boss Cookie some time, I'm not sure, but the plan there to give one another some slipstream really did not pay off whatsoever for the Racing Points there. But I don't think we saw anyone try that in Tier 2 earlier. AJ, I'm not sure if you noticed anyone doing that, but I don't remember people try to give their teammates any slipstream.
I did not. Looks like we lost Kurt there, GB. See if we can grab him back in here. And no, I have to agree. I know there was some talk in my group I had Krob and Loogie, my teammate, in there. We were trying to sync up a slipstream, but the way we all kind of staggered out, there was everybody on the track at one time. We weren't able to link up there. But yeah, I don't think there was too many opportunities for that. Looks like we've got one of the it's one of the hosses is slowing down, letting the teammate by.
Boss Cookies go across the line for his first lap.
41.5 for him.
And now we're going to see the
JDM.
Racing Points try this strategy all over again by the looks of it. Well, I mean, that hasn't worked at all there from Box Cookies. Just slowed down on the start-finish straight to let his teammate through completely. So, Racing Points messing up that strategy there a little bit to give each other the slipstream.
Couple more times rolling in. Ola again with a 43.2. That's going to be P5. Payox right behind him jumps him. 42.3 for P4. Payox's new teammate, a new addition to the grid here, SSR Hamilton, 43.3 on the mediums. Also coming out like Craig Conley on the mediums into P6.
Yeah, Amar's backed out on his hot lap.
Division's got a big time there, 42.0. That's going to be P2 right now.
Yeah. Boss Cookie there leading the way at the moment with his 41.5 lap time, over half a second clear at the front on provisional pole. Looking at who's going to be the next one to cross the line, that will be...
Halo snuck in there too, 43.8, and Zampa with a 46.2. Looks like Zampa might have got caught up in some traffic there.
Yeah, definitely. Next up to the line will be Voj26. He comes out of the final corner, loses the rear end a little bit, but across the line he goes into P7 with a 43.8. So he is the next man there.
Alright, saying you're a little staticky there, GB. Let me see if I can get that sorted out. Alright, give him a test here. Let's see if we can try that out.
See if that's any better. Hopefully it is, otherwise my microphone's going to be playing up again.
Just to correct you, Voye, or Vohe, however that was to be pronounced, I believe is a she.
Oh, never mind.
I'll double check that, but I'm pretty certain that is our female driver. Okay, Platnor says that's better. Had to make a technical adjustment here.
Nice one.
Thanks, guys, for letting us know about that. We can't hear that on our end, so that's tremendous for us for the feedback. Thank you so much.
Craig Conley.
Oh, AlphaTauri spins there. Tries to stay out of the way of the Williams here.
Yeah, I think she was on a cooldown lap, so. But yeah, bit of an interesting spin there. Didn't look to take any damage, which is fortunate. Meanwhile, her teammate Craig Conley has started his first lap of qualifying on a set of the mediums. He's coming down the Camel Straight at the moment, so we'll see what sort of pace
massive
he
Afro
has.
Just grabbed him a time, 42.5, P6 right now. Zampa finishing up a second go around at 42.5 in there for the P5 at the moment.
Impressive pace, though. Next up to the line, looks like it will be. We've got a Mercedes who's spun round. SPL confirmed. Has had a bit of a spin going through Pouillon. And he's actually got disqualified from the session now for driving the wrong way, try to get back onto the track. So unfortunate there for Pouillon, but not for Pouillon, that's the corner. For SPL confirmed, unfortunate for him, he will be starting from the back.
Smelly Socks in there showing me some love in the chat. Thank you so much for that, man. I appreciate the support. Can someone send me an invite? Sam Jung.
Don't think he's one of the drivers.
I do not believe he's one of the drivers. This is a league race at the moment, guys, so if you are a viewer and would like to get in with us, check out our Discord. Get in with our Discord, and you can get into some of our fun cups and 5-lappers. Rumor has it, in the paddock, there's a quarantine cup being discussed. Maybe coming up soon. There you go. There's our website. Check out our website. There is a link to the Discord there. It talks about how to join. Click that link and you can get on the Discord. Say hi, make yourself known. We got some fun cups coming up. Like I said, I think there is definitely a quarantine cup being discussed right now. So that is something you could get involved in. And we have another driver test coming up for those newer guys that are looking for maybe a reserve seat. I'm almost certain all the spots are filled for the regular seats. I'll have to double check the roster post-race, but as of right now, we do have a couple of slots for reserve racers, and you can try out there. Yep, and that is correct. Bohey 26 and SSR Hamilton are on their debut races. Both of these guys participated in the Driver Academy, the testing phase to get a full-time seat, and did very well. Both of them up there at the top, so they have earned their right to race on the tier with the big boys.
I'm riding on board with Boss Cookie again. Seems that the Racing Point boys have got this strategy of slipstreaming a bit better this time. He gets slipstream going up the Camel Straight. Neymar moves out the way. Boss Cookie gets through, goes purple through sector 1. Well, we think he does. It might be one of those telemetry glitches that you sometimes get in F1, but seems like the Racing Point boys got that a bit better this time, as we just saw there. Cookie getting a massive right front lockup, going through the slow right-hander of, I think it's
Definitely
called Blue
carrying a lot more
Shells,
speed there.
But keep riding on board with Cookie. He misses the apex through the first part of Lafagny, but yeah, he's looking decent for his time. He's 2/10 up apparently on his lap so far, and he's actually going to get a bit of slipstream potential here from King Chalupa, which I'm sure Chalupa won't be doing that intentionally. He moves out the way on the run down towards Blanchimont, and I reckon this could be an improvement on the fastest lap of the session here. So we see out the final corner, out the bus stop chicane, comes Boss Cookie across the line, and it's a 1:41.2. Wow. That's a quick lap, and now we're actually, if you ride on board with BRL Neymar, we're going to see Racing Points swap the roles around. This time it'll be Cookie giving Neymar the slipstream, if they time it right, which I don't think they will have. Actually, they might have just nailed it.
Looks like
here.
they did it perfect.
Yeah, they've just nailed it by the looks of it. So coming down the Camel Straight, we'll ride on board with Neymar. He'll get in the slipstream of Cookie. We'll try and gain a bit of time from that, and then just before the corner, Cookie moves out the way. Neymar goes through and continues with his lap. So,
Textbook slingshot there,
yeah,
do the
brilliantly
DRS.
done there by
Excellent
Racing
work
Point.
by them.
Another
We got
right
Drive
front
On
lap
Driver in the chat, cheering on his man Halo. Halo getting some love in the chat here on the stream. Let's take a look there. Halo on an outlap right now in the Haas, warming those soft tires up, trying to put up a better lap here. Looks like we got a car off the track. Looks like Kurt is dipping out of the way, and then we've
that's
got
Afro's. No, it's not Afro. Who is it? Oh, it's Division, who has retired from the session in Sector 2. BRL
let's see.
Neymar.
I think that might be Terminal.
Yeah,
We're
I
going to take a
think
look
it
at the
is.
directory here.
BRL Neymar, to give you an update on his lap time, he has invalidated his lap. So that slingshot, after they timed it so perfectly, Neymar invalidating his lap time. He will go for another run though, so he does cross the line and set a 1:41.9. So that lap would have actually been good enough for third place there for the second Racing Point. They would have been at P1 and P3, but unfortunately for Neymar, invalidating on his flying lap, and he'll have to go around again.
Payox King's moving up a little bit there, 42.0. P4 for him, right behind Division. And I've talked to Race Control and the stewards. That was terminal damage for Division. Looks like he lost it there in Sector 2. Took the wheel off the car. That's going to be it for him in quali today. His mechanics are going to have to work real hard to get that car ready for quali. Going to be a Max Verstappen-esque repair there.
Massive Afro crosses the line, goes P3 with a 1:41.8. So big improvement there for The Alfa Romeo man, and the Alfa Romeo is actually having a very strong performance here. Despite division crashing out, they are P3 and P4 at the moment. But we've already seen the pace of BRL Neymar on his invalidated lap. It would have been good enough for what is now P4. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Racing Points getting up on those front rows by the end of this session. Only just over 4 minutes to go in qualifying here. So we'll start to see everyone coming out for their final runs of the session.
Yeah, we got Kurt in the Ferrari, who's invalid, but we got the AlphaTauri, a new entry here. Bohey 26, looks like
Also
they're
into
in
the
the pits,
pits.
not happy with how that one was going.
BRL Neymar.
So we got Neymar and Murph
violated.
without times here.
Yeah, Neymar, I reckon, will come into the pits here and then go straight back out on a fresh set of softs to try and set himself a better lap. King Chalupa also pulls into the pits, as does JDM Haters, as does Piles Kings. So everyone now coming in to strap on that final set of tyres for the final laps. ABR Murphy is about to cross the line on a set of mediums, and he goes into P2. Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be a 41.7 for Murph there. Always known to be pacey, and he's showing why he starts at the front of the grid. What a lap by the Williams.
Wow, I'm blown away by that lap. To set a time in a 141.7 on a set of mediums to get him into P2, that is fantastic there from Murphy. I think that'll be his one and only lap of the session as well. I don't think he's even bothering pushing back to the pits. I think he's just going to calmly stroll back and potentially line up on the front row of the grid. But still half a second away from pole there, so I reckon his pace is probably going to be very similar to Boss Cookie's, because the timing difference between the mediums and the soft is probably just over half a second.
All right, we're hearing in from the Alfa Romeo crew of Division. Said he clipped the curb there, and that was it. He is dead. Rip to Division. Let's get an F in the chat for Division there, not being able to make it through quali. Terminal damage.
Who is going to be the
Reflex
first
Pilot,
person?
the Reflex Pilot coming around on an outlap. He was the man of issues last week and had some connection issues and caused quite the debacle with the steward's desk. Looking much better here. Car running around the track nice and smooth. He said he's worked out the problem from last week. I know he's made amends to the other drivers. So we're going to see, hopefully, he is back up to par this week.
Yeah, and he'll be the first man to set his final lap of the session as well, as we're running on board with him going up Eau Rouge and through Radion. Nice and smoothly done, opens the DRS, and then you have that long drive down the Camel Straight. You gotta make sure you pick your brake and try and hit that apex. Does it well, loses the rear end a little bit though, coming through the corner at the end of the Camel Straight. But so far, a fairly clean lap from the Haas driver. He's in P15 at the moment with a 157.9 lap time. So I'm pretty certain if he keeps it clean, he will easily be improving upon that. And I expect... Oh, he's lost the rear end though. Hits that inside curb coming through Pouillon, and we know how slippy that curb can be. He spins it round, and that's going to cost him. He might still beat the 1 minute 57 lap he'd set before, but there's no way he's going to be getting anywhere near the front now after that spin. So Reflex Pilot looking like he'll be starting down towards the back of the grid now. Let's see. Massive Afro is making his way towards the start-finish line. I'm not sure if he's going to actually get across to start a lap here. With only 7 seconds left in the session, he's coming up to the bus stop chicane. He obviously can't cut the corner as well, because he'll invalidate the next lap, and he's not. Massive Afro unable to set his final lap of the session. And it's going to be at best a P4.
We see Charisma here with a big spin in Sector 2. Slams into the wall. Heavy damage to the front end. Didn't mean to cut you off there, GB. We just flipped through the cameras checking on our drivers, and we see the McLaren lose the rear end well through the gravel trap and makes heavy contact with the wall. Looks like he's still underway, going to limp it back to the pits, but that ends any chance of him getting a time here late in the session.
Yeah. The next driver to cross the line to set their final lap of the qualifying session will be Monkey. He's currently in P10 with 142.5. A few seconds before we saw Reflex Pilot cross the line, he didn't improve on his lap time after that spin, but Monkey coming across the line now goes P7 with a 142.063. Very, very close between the drivers, well, it's very close from second all the way down to what? Like 9th or 10th, but particularly 6th, 7th and 8th, all within the same 10th of a second there. So very close between them and Monkey, just jumping Zampa by 11 thousandths of a second. So very close between them.
Will not improve there. SSR Hamilton behind him. Invalid. Neymar all the way up to P2 with the first time of the session, 41.6. First time he's put up all session. Gets in there with P2. We got the Racing Points taking us out front for the moment.
And I tell you what, it looks like
that's going to be it.
That's going to be it. So it is
the Racing Points.
The Racing Point front row lockout, a bit different to the Racing Points of Tier 2 with, well, where we saw my teammate Maestro get beaten to pole by 6 thousandths of a second. A bit bigger gap between the front two here, but the Racing Points locking out the front row instead of being what was, I think, P2 and P like 8 or 9 in Tier 2. Racing Point putting on a real good show here, locking out that front row with Boss Cookie taking pole with a 141.222. Fantastic lap there from him. Then it will be Neymar in P2 with P3, I think it was ABR Murphy if I'm right. Yes, Murphy with that fantastic lap on the medium tyres. He has JD Peters in the Red Bull alongside him. Pies Kings, the first of the Renaults, will be P4 with in P5 with Massive Afro P6 and his Alfa Romeo teammate of division in P7. Monkey, the second of the Williams, he lines up in P8 with Zampa in P9, and Vohe 26 on debut. They round out the top 10. King Chalupa in P11 with Oleg, the first of the Mercedes. I think there are two Mercedes. Yes, there are. The first of Mercedes in P12. Halo in P13. Hamilton, the second debutant, is in P14. Craig Conley is in P15. And then behind them, I can't remember who it was. No, SPL confirmed stuff on the back of the grid after being disqualified. So, exciting race ahead, AJ.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be great. Any early predictions? If you can get it in before the lights drop, we'll throw a little cash prize there out of my dime. $10 Microsoft gift card if you can nail the podium. Has to be absolutely right, and you got to get it in before the lights drop. Once the lights come on, all offers are over, so get them in quick.
Vohe has readied up. There'll be a little bit of a slap on the wrist, I think, there for Vohe. Whether or not she actually knew about that rule, I'm not too sure. But obviously in SSR, you're not meant to ready up before the host of that session, which in this case is Zampa. So, bit of a slap on the wrist for Vohe, but I mean they are.
Yeah, I'm sure the stewards are gonna check up on that. Like I said, Vohe is a new addition to the grid. That was relayed. That is in the rules, guys. We do not ready up before the host, so I'm sure the stewards will address that, as will the tier coordinators. We'll get them up to speed. It's going to be kind of tight, and I'm not sure if anybody had enough time to change strategy here. That was a really quick ready up.
Looking down the tyres at the moment, some people definitely did. We see, obviously, the top 10 have to start on the tyres that they qualified in, which means the entire top 10, apart from ABL Murphy, start on the soft tyres with Murphy on the mediums. Then you've got Chalupa, Oleg, Halo, Hamilton, Craig, and Reflex from P11 down to P16. They all start on sets of mediums. because they of course had the free choice of tyres, and then you got Charisma, Kurt and SPL confirmed at the back of the grid, all on soft. So it'll be quite interesting to see what progress those three from the back of the grid can make on that faster compound of tyre. But I'm sure there'll be incidents. Spa, we saw a lot of incidents in Tier 2. I'm sure there'll be some more here today.
Yeah, we got Bone Apple T in the chat saying back three still on sauce. I bet that's not intentional. Yeah, like I said, there was an early ready up there that's been noted by the stewards and will be addressed accordingly post-race. Guys, if you're a racer and a driver, especially our new people, if you're listening to the stream, remember you cannot ready up before the host in Tier 1. That is going to be Zampa unless said otherwise. So don't worry, guys, watching along and those other drivers in the chat. We did note it. It has been marked and will be followed up with. All right, so we got Cod Villain in the chat saying 3 cars out on the first climb of the hill. Rouge is dangerous.
Yeah.
Turn 1's going to be hectic too. That's a lot of cars piling in after that straight and a very, very tight right-hander. We saw some contact there in Tier 2 as well.
Yeah, we certainly did. So make sure people in chat, we have 26 people currently watching at the moment and looking at some of your predictions going through the grid. Let's have a look. Burn Apple T
Also, guys,
says that Murphy will get the win and that Racing Points will crash into each other. He said that will happen on lap 1, so we'll have to wait and see with that. But be interesting to see actually the strategy for the Racing Points here, whether they just try and battle for position or whether they will just look to try and escape with each other and block everyone else off.
oh no, we see race control comes across. Disqualified from the session. Charisma and Kurt. Not sure what happened there. We'll have to follow up in the directory. We did not see that.
That'll just be for the formation, I think, luckily for them.
Let's hope so, because it's still got them grayed out on the grid. There they go. Okay, they have reset. All right, that could have been an early end to the race. 3, 4, and 5 lights, guys. We're going racing here in Spa.
And we're underway, and it's been a good getaway there for Boss Cookie. He's going to hold the lead into turn 1 with Neymar behind him, coming under a little bit of pressure, but he holds on to P2, so the Racing Points getting through turn 1 very cleanly. They lead the way.
JDM able to get a position there as well. A little behind the leaders, but he was able to move past Payox, who looked like he got his nose bumped a little bit. I don't think he took damage there, but it looks like he got a little bit into somebody.
Come on, look at
Had
that
to fall
view.
back. JD capitalized.
Look at the views. They come down the straight. Everyone's side by side. It's Boss Cookie who leads the way, despite it saying on the telemetry that it's actually Charisma. That will correct itself, which has done so now. But the Racing Points lead the way at the moment. Boss Cookie extending his lead to over 7/10 of a second already. ABR Murphy holding on to P3 in those medium tyres. So good start from the Williams driver there. JDM Haters is up into P4. We'll have a look at some position changes so far. So far, the big losses that we see are Division down 4 places into P11, so not too sure what happened with him. Go have a check if he's got any damage. Doesn't seem he does, so it just seems to have been a bit of a bad start there for the Alfa Romeo.
I just clipped back to take a look at our debut racer, SSR Hamilton, and we see him Halo mixing it up. Nice little wheel tap going down the hill there. Both the Haas cars have now linked up in a chain. Everyone very close together still. Big line of cars coming down the hill. Boss Cookie and Neymar take us through the final chicane through the start straight.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic start there by the Racing Point drivers. Both of them holding on to their positions at the moment as we see the telemetry decides to have another little fit. And Boss Cookie, I mean, apparently he is dropping very quickly to the back of the grid here. Obviously,
we see Kurt in the Ferrari in the pits on lap 1. Looks like he collected a little damage and has decided to retire. Wow, surprising turn of events for Kurt here. Straight into the pits at the end of lap 1 and calls it a day. We'll have to check with Kurt and see what happened there.
Hopefully that won't call out a safety car as well when his car comes back out the pits to retire. But he's immediately left the session, so something has definitely gone a bit wrong there for Kurt. But back at the front of the grid, it is Boss Cookie who leads the way with Neymar 7/10 of a second behind him. ABR Murphy now over a second behind second place Murphy now. So when DRS is activated at the end of this lap, he is not going to benefit from being able to open up a little flap in the rear wing. Jesus, teeth are not working there for those two words.
We're hearing in from Jamie the G in close communications. Kurt said that he was getting warnings. We saw some blue flags popping up there. Not sure if that was lobby issue. He said he was getting some warnings there, and he decided to just call it a day. Invalidated warnings there. Be sure to get that clip in, Kurt. Let us know. Maybe some connections issues for Kurt there. He said he also got an invalid lap in quali, dead center of the track. Not sure what's going on there as well. We'll have to take a look at that, man. Kurt, if you got some clips of that, please get them in so we can take a look.
Yeah, I can actually see the blue flag boards are flashing at the moment. As I'm riding on board with Boss Cookie, you can see they do keep on flashing, so I'm not sure why that is.
Yeah, I've seen some sporadic cars ghosting in and out there too that might be part of the cause. Somebody may be desynced from the lobby. Not sure who. Looks like everybody is solid right now. Massive Afro is solid. We're kind of going down the grid here trying to see, make sure everybody's synced in. Hate to have to restart.
Yeah, I'm riding on
Tough
board
break
at
for
the
Kurt
moment,
there.
JDM Haters. He's going to send it up the inside of ABR Murphy at the end of the Camel Straight. Murphy holds it around the outside though. Brilliant defensive there by ABR Murphy. He holds on to P3 as JDM Haters runs off a little bit wide as they go on the run down towards Bushell, but for now, ABR Murphy holding on to that P3 on those slower medium tyres. Very good job by the Williams man there.
Looks like we got a spin on Zampa in the McLaren early. Look in the latter parts of Sector 1, early Sector 2. Yeah, it looks like early Sector 2 right before the tight right-hander. Looks like he doesn't have any damage. Not sure if he collected any on the car there, but he did get turned around. Just missed that. Need to cut you off there, GB.
Yeah, very unfortunate left for Zampa. He is now down into P17 on those set of soft tyres. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 2. That's Reflex Pilot has gone round and lost, I think, pretty much all of his front wing there. So the two Haas
Looks like the right end plate there, GB. Right end plate completely missing as we see his teammate go by.
Yeah, not the ideal start there for Haas. They're now down into 17th and 18th on the grid. The final 2 points paying positions in here. You can see on the onboard cameras that Reflex is definitely missing that right side of his front wing end plates. Be interested to see if he pits here. He'll have to go into hard tyres until the end if he did. Back out at the front though, Boss Cookie extending his lead now over BRL Murphy to over 2 seconds. And I'm sure we're about to... Go on.
GB, we see Reflex Pilot is going to stay out with the missing end plate. He's already in last place. I think he's trying not to lose any time, maybe pitting with the front runners here towards the pit stops.
Looking at the on-track battles at the moment, I think the next one is SPL Confirmed, who is on the back of Craig Conley. We have a few battles here and there. We've got Zampa, who's just overtaken Oleg for P15. So the McLaren driver tried to recover after that incident earlier on in the race. And we've still got a battle going on over P3 as well. JDM Hayes is still within a second of ABR Murphy. So I'm sure we'll probably be seeing JDM looking to make a move in the coming laps if he wants to have any chance of getting after those racing points out the front, with Boss Cookie now extending his lead to 2.5 seconds over his teammates. Cookie definitely trying to run away with this one at the moment.
Yeah, Neymar and Boss Cookie both have tremendous pace here, and if they work well together and stagger their strategies, with the lead they got now, I don't see him having a problem bringing home a 1-2 today. Murph has pace, definitely does, but JDM is all on his gearbox, giving him a run for his money. And you know Payox King's always a contender. He got held up a little bit last week. Now out to the front of the grid, running well. He can bite at any time, so you just got to keep that in mind. He's always back there in the hunt, and with these guys battling up front, it's going to give him the opportunity to close the gap to JDM and get in the mix of this battle.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see JDM make a move here. He's closing that gap already. He's under half a second behind ABR Murphy, tucked in the slipstream. I think he's going to be a bit too far back this time around. He is. So he's going to have to bide his time for now. ABR Murphy holding on to his P3 exceptionally well. I'll tell you what, Murphy definitely isn't out of this at the moment. He's close to within a second of BRL Murphy, who is still about 2 to 3 seconds behind his teammates. You have yellow flags behind.
Looks like Massive Afro has spun and then reset to the track. That has also been noted by the stewards. Can't reset to track, boys.
It's worth also noting the two debutants today, Hamilton and Verger. They are in P9 and P10 as it stands, so a really good start for the two of them. In particular, Hamilton, who has gained 5 positions after starting down in P14. Fantastic start to the race for him, and he's looking to put some pressure on King Chalupa ahead of him, who is currently on a set of the mediums just like Hamilton, so it's a like-for-like comparison, whereas Verger behind them by about 2 and a bit seconds is on the set of softs.
Yeah, GB, we're on board with Hamilton right now, and you can see him very quickly closing the gap to Chalupa. He's going to get in the mix of this Division Chalupa battle for P7. He's going to struggle to make some ground here, though. Division well out of the DRS of the car in front of him, Monkey, but King Chalupa right in the gearbox of Division is going to have that advantage of DRS, so he's going to have a hard time getting past him here. Down the Kimmel Straight, these two might be able to double overtake Division here if he plays his cards right. We're going to stay on board and see if he can get it done.
There's King Chalupa there picking up a 3-second time penalty as they go through a Rouge. So it's worth keeping an eye on penalties as well as you look ahead. I'm riding on board with Hamilton at the moment, watching this battle. King Chalupa sends it up the inside of Division. They're side by side through the corner, a little bit of contact, and Division holds on to the position. Very hard fought by the two of them, but good driving. And now Hamilton's going to look to try and profit from this. He's all over the back of Chalupa, but for now, the three of them retain their positions with Division leading that little group in P7, but all of this is making them lose time to Monkey ahead of them. It's now 3 seconds the gap back from Monkey to Division, so it's not helping them in the long run. But obviously in SSR, we like a lot of battling and we like entertaining racing, so this is exactly what we want to see happening on our screens at the moment.
Yeah, GB Division with a great block there. Gave him the space, but not much. He held it pretty tight there, making sure that he didn't give him the opening, but showed him the respect that was deserved. Hamilton capitalizing has definitely closed the gap here. You see him 2/10 off coming through Sector 3, carrying lots of momentum. He's going to have a good run at Chalupa coming around here. He needs a really good exit on the chicane here down the start straight, and I believe he can get a good turn into Turn 1.
Yes, definitely, but they have to remember as well, of course, there's
and you see him with a little wheel slip there. That's going to cost him.
But he will still get that DRS, so going down the Kimmel Straight, which arguably is a better DRS to take than the one on the main straight. You get that DRS so much longer, and it's at such a great speed that you can really benefit. While we are watching this battle, it's worth noting that ABR Murphy has got past BRL Neymar to get himself up into P2. And now Neymar has actually just been overtaken by JDO Haters as well. As you see a big contact there. Oh no! Bit of contact between Hamilton and King Chalupa. Chalupa absolutely smacks into the wall there, and Hamilton spins it around. It seemed like Hamilton...
Oh, Chalupa making contact with him again. Bohe taking advantage, getting around them both. I couldn't tell if there was contact there. We were looking over the rear spoiler of the Red Bull of Chalupa, and I don't think there was contact. I think Chalupa might have got a loose in the rear end and caused the rear end to slip a little bit. It was really hard to tell at full speed.
I was riding on board with Hamilton, and I think there was slight contact where I think Chalupa has just squeezed him and basically not left that much room, as Hamilton losing the rear end there as well, coming through Pouillon. Both of them, actually Hamilton doesn't look like he has any damage as he looks to defend his position from Craig Conley, but Chalupa has lost that entire left end plate there. He's going to have a lot of damage.
Heavy damage. He's missing a few veins there as well. That's heavy damage to that. And then Hamilton catches a penalty there as he kind of dodges Chalupa, who's trying to get that car back to the pits and salvage this lap.
Yeah, that will be one that I'm sure will probably go to stewards. But it was a weird one. I was riding on board with Hamilton. It seemed like his front wing was in line with Chalupa's left rear tyre. And because of that, as Chalupa sort of tried to squeeze him out a bit, they've made that contact. Chalupa's sort of overcorrected to try and make sure he doesn't get spun into the wall, and instead he's spun over to the other side and then come back across the track, trying to correct that one as well. So unfortunate there for King Chalupa and Hamilton. They were both having a great race, but this has massively benefited Vohe, who's now up into P7 in their debut race. Pius Kings is the first of the front runners to make his pit stop as well. He's come back out on a set of mediums in traffic though. He's fighting with Zampa for P12 here as he sends up the inside at the end of the Kemmel Straight. But not ideal there for Pius Kings, coming out in a bit of traffic. That might hinder his progress as he looks to make the undercut on the leaders.
Yeah, from my view there with the Chalupa Hamilton incident, it looked kind of like I said, I was looking over the rear spoiler, which is the view we had here on the stream, and it looked like there might have been a little wiggle in Chalupa, and I think they were so close together that there might have been some contact there. It's really hard to tell at speed, so we're not going to pass judgment on anybody. I know there'll be clips submitted, and the stewards will do their job, so we won't say whose fault it was. Just from my point of view, it looked like the rear end got a little loose there. Might have been dirty air, who knows. The stewards will definitely take a real good look at that, and we'll get a result post-race. Tough break for Chalupa indeed.
Yes.
We got Boss Cookie, the leader, in the pits here.
Yeah, Boss Cookie pits here, and I'm not surprised he's done that at all. I was watching the timings come down very quickly between Boss Cookie and Murphy. Murphy now pushing on those medium tyres, it seems, as he looks to try and take advantage as people's tyre life starts to go off those on the softs. BR Murphy having to stay out though for another lap because of his teammate pitting. The gap between them wasn't big enough to do a double stack, so that might hinder BR Neymar a little bit. But Boss Cookie back out the pits on a set of mediums. JDM Haters also pitted with him, and they're now back out in P4 and P5 respectively, with Pius Kings, that undercut not working whatsoever. He's now in P7 behind his teammate SSR Hamilton. And, well, he's lost a bit of time to the two drivers ahead of him of Cookie and Haters.
Well, GB, I think this is a smart play by Boss Cookie. He goes into the mediums, which I'm sure he's confident he can take all the way to the end. ABR Murphy's going to have to make another stop, so he knows that he's going to jump back up there. Right now, he's only about 6 seconds off in closing, so he's looking at a good chance to jump right back up there. Now, like you said, Neymar has to stay out due to not having enough time to double stack. So we got Neymar, Monkey, and Murphy all having to pit, which puts Boss Cookie right back up at the top. I think this is a great time to pit. It was a good strategy on his part. Not so sure how that's going to work out for his teammate here, but for the win, I think Boss Cookie just made a great decision to go in there.
Yes, I mean, Murphy definitely has the pace on the mediums. We saw him get past his Boss Cookie's teammate Neymar earlier on in the race, as did JDM Haters, but Neymar was slowly bringing that gap down to Boss Cookie. And the gap, when he got past Neymar, it was about a 3-second gap, but by the time Cookie had pitted, he got it down to about 2 seconds. So it's clear that Murphy definitely has pace on these mediums, and of course he'll be on the faster soft tyres in the closing stages of the race, as we see Neymar into the pits, as is Monkey. Now, it's going to be interesting here if we ride on board with Neymar as he comes out of the pit lane. I wouldn't be surprised if he's under a bit of pressure from Pius Kings coming out of the pits. And in fact, I think Kings actually might completely jump him here. So this is really...
Yeah, I think he's going to get out ahead, GB.
Not quite. Kings...
We see Neymar rejoin right there behind both the Renaults.
Yeah, Kings does jump Neymar, and as does Hamilton. So this is really backfired here for BRL Neymar, because he's out in what is an effective P5 now, and he has the two Renaults ahead of him who have both jumped him. Of course, Hamilton's still having to pit, but he's got to get past Hamilton as quick as he can to try and make progress to get back into the fight for the podium positions. But yeah, Neymar, after starting P2 this race, sort of falling away from him a little bit there. Partly down to strategy, and I think partly down to just pure race pace to the other drivers around him.
Well, the timing's not too terrible now. I know he's fallen back a few positions, but when he exits the pits, he comes out well in the DRS of Hamilton, who's going to have to pit. He catches the DRS down the Kemmel, so he's able to get up to speed very fast. He's got Conley behind him, But as you can see, he's on the fresher tires here, Neymar, and he's going to try to make a move past Hamilton. He's got to get past Hamilton here, who's looking to pit, so he's going to slow him up in the last turn if he can't get by him.
Yeah, he's not quite able to make the move there as you go into the final sector on the track, but Neymar needs to get this move done as soon as possible if he wants to get that charge on Paz Kings before he gets too far out of DRS range. We see the gap between Kings and Hamilton at 9/10 of a second at the moment, so I mean Neymar really needs to get past Hamilton so he can be on the back of the other Renault. Boss Cookie setting the fastest lap of the race there at 1:44.7. He's now got the gap down to just 13.3 seconds as you see Neymar make that move on Hamilton going down the start-finish straight. Locks up a little bit on the front right going into turn 1 as we see Hamilton losing the rear end again on the exit of turn 1, but Neymar gets the move done. He won't be within DRS range of Paz Kings, but he'll look to close down that gap as soon as possible. And it's also worth noting as well, Neymar has no ERS remaining. He has used up all of his ERS, whereas Kings ahead of him has 50% remaining. And it's actually similar to the guys ahead of him as well. Everyone with pretty good ERS remaining. It's just the two racing points who both are running pretty low on the energy recovery system, both under 20%.
Looks like we got a new follow here, GB. Kano Loft 1234. Thank you for joining and following the stream. We appreciate it. Glad to have you here. We're 11 laps of 22 laps. That means we have officially hit the halfway point of this race. We've got ABR Murph out ahead, 12.5 seconds to Boss Cookie. But Boss Cookie's already pitted, so Murphy's still yet to pit. Looks like we've got a Renault around.
Yeah, Renault has...
That's going to be SSR Hamilton.
Hamilton's been struggling on those medium tyres in the last couple of laps. We saw on the last time around the track, he lost the rear end a little bit out of the bus stop chicane. He lost it out of turn 1 at La Source as well. And now, well, he's lost it going through the double right-hander at the start of sector 3. He's completely spun it there. I won't be surprised if we see him come into the pits sometime soon. But looking at the gap between Boss Cookie and Murphy, he is on a flyer, Boss Cookie. He's already got that gap down by a second in the last lap. So Murphy here is going to have to go on a real charge on those soft tyres if he wants to stand any chance of winning this.
Well, we're checking in on that front runners. We see SSR Halo able to get by the Renault, who's going to get the DRS through the Kimmel. There's a pack of cars right behind the Renault and the Haas there looking to get in the mix of this. The Renault gets his position back down the Kimmel straight with the DRS. It's going to be a heck of a battle here for 8, 9, and 10.
And then behind them actually as well, we've got Oleg and Vohe, who are also right in battle with Division. So we've got a 5-way scrap here going on between P8 and P12 with 2 debutants as well battling in this battle. But if you look at the tyre life for some of them, Hamilton and Halo and Oleg all yet to pit. Division and Vohe have both pitted and are in an effective, what you would say is probably P7, 8, I believe, once everyone else has pitted. So very, very strong showing here by Vohe. She's done a really good job and she's running around in P12 at the moment, and she can just afford to bide her time at this stage, just so long as she sticks with Division, who is the person she is directly fighting.
Yeah, GB, it'd be fair to notice, kind of under the radar here through this, Craig Conley all the way up to P7 in the AlphaTauri. Laying low on the medium tires, has kind of worked his way up the grid discreetly. We've been watching a few other battles around the track. Definitely got good position here with the pit stops coming up.
Yeah, definitely. And again, looking at the gap out at the front, Boss Cookie now only 11 seconds behind ABR Murphy. He's closed the gap down by another second on that last lap. So Murphy, he needs to pit sooner rather than later if he wants to stand a chance, but it's just how long can he make those soft tyres last? And I mean, we know Murphy's a very quick driver, but as it stands at the moment, I'm not sure exactly how much time he loses on the pit stop around Spa, but it's going to be at least 20 seconds, and looking back by 20 seconds, That's going to put him down in P5. So he's really going to have a battle on his hands. He's going to have to get past Kings and Neymar. With Neymar has actually got past Kings recently as well. So he's back up into P4, 4 seconds behind JDM Haters. But it's going to be a tough one to get to close that gap up.
GB, looks like we lost Oleg there. Let's see if we can get an invite back out to him. He's right in the mix of things here in the P11, P12. While we were talking about those front runners, Hamilton coming around the last corner there on the previous lap. Big wheel spin. Division got by him. But Hamilton battling back, climbs the hill, gets the Kimmel straight DRS, and was able to get by him. But Hamilton really struggling here. He knows he's losing the grip on those tires, and the cars behind him are moving up. And he's pressing a little hard. We see a couple of wheel slips over the last few laps. Those tires are starting to go. He's going to have to find a comfort zone here, find the wear to power ratio, and see if he can get that down. He can't afford too many big slips like that.
Yeah,
oh, and Halo, big spin for Halo there.
And
he is around at the entry of Sector 3.
And also, at the very same time as Halo having his spin, we also had a synchronised spin from the Mercedes of SPL Confirmed, who's at the back of the grid. He's spun going through Pouillon, so my only guess is he's probably touched that inside left curb, which is notoriously slippy on this game this year, and it's probably spun him around there. But it doesn't seem like SPL Confirmed has any serious damage to the car. I think he managed to keep it out of the barriers, and he'll be able to continue just with probably tyres that feel like they're on fire at the moment.
Yeah, GB, there's a lot of runoff there on the outside of turn 2, or outside of that Sector 2 turn, and that curb there on the inside is treacherous. The only way to avoid a spin there, if you're lucky, and that's only 50-50, get off the throttle, try to keep those tires straight. But there is a lot of runoff to the right there, so depending on how he steers the car through that slide, he could probably keep it off the wall pretty easy there. But he's definitely going to see a lot of tire wear, and those tires are going to be screaming right now.
Back out at front, I'm riding on board with ABR Murphy. He's just coming through Blanchimont. I would not be surprised if we see him pull into the pits either this lap or on the next lap. The gap between him and Boss Cookie was about, well, before the telemetry decided to have another little temper tantrum. As we see, ABR Murphy does now, in fact, pull into the pit lane, but that gap was down to about 9 seconds between him and Boss Cookie. So, be interesting to see here if we ride on board with Murphy and carry on with him. Whereabouts he'll come out after his pit
I'm going to
stop.
anticipate he's going to come out right before Neymar and Payox. It's looking like that's about where he's going to come out at.
It's going to be a very close one between the two of them. He straps on that set of softs. He is going to be the fastest man out on track, I anticipate. And coming out of the pits, yes, he's out in P3 ahead of BRL Neymar and Paz Kings, who are just behind him. And just outside of the DRS range as well, which is crucial for ABR Murphy. It means he's not going to lose too much time to the two drivers behind him. They're not going to gain too much on him. And now Murphy can just put pedal to the metal. He's got a 2.5 second gap to JDM Haters ahead of him. And then another 7 seconds after that to try and close up to Boss Cookie. So, well, people in the stream at the moment, we've still got over 20 of you watching at the moment. Get your predictions. Can ABR Murphy win this race?
Yeah, GB, while we were watching those front runners, SSR Hamilton into the pits for the soft tires as well. Struggled the last couple of laps we saw there. Now he's really going to have to push on these softs to gain some ground. He comes back out on the grid in P13, 2.2 seconds off of Oleg, who had the unfortunate lag out there. Looks like he's rejoined and taken over his car again. We're going to look to see Hamilton have to really push here in the closing laps of the race to get some points.
Yes, we're seeing a lot of battles out on track at the moment, and Vohey now up into P9 on debut. It's worth keeping an eye on her over this final stint, but for now, the man to keep your eyes on is ABR Murphy. He has already closed up, well, he's already halved the gap between him and Haters. It's now down to just over a second already. He's gained 1.5 seconds on that last lap. I mean, his pace is insane on these soft tyres, and I think it's only a matter of time before he gets past JDM Haters. It might even be on this lap going down the Kemmel Straight. It's definitely worth riding on board with. As we see here, he's within DRS range as they climb up the hill through Radion there, and now down the DRS straight and the Camel straight. We do have a yellow flag in sector 2. That's another spin by SPL confirmed, but he has got the car going again, and I'm just checking if there's any damage. It doesn't seem like there is, but back out towards the front, AVR Murphy all over the back of JDM 8 as he set a purple sector 1 there as he closes in on the Red Bull man, and it's got to be a matter of time before he gets through. We're still right on board here with Murphy as he comes through Pouillon, and now down towards the end of sector 2, all over the back of JDM Haters. Haters must be fed up of seeing this Williams in his mirrors already, as Murphy actually picks up a 3-second time penalty there. But coming through the double right-hander here, and now run down towards the bus stop chicane, passing through Blanchimont as they go, and he's all over the back of him, AJ. It's got to be surely this lap he's got to get through.
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be this lap for sure, GB. I'd like to go ahead and correct myself there. Voy is not female. That is a male driver, so I'd like to apologize for that. There was confusion with the new group. We haven't got to meet everyone just yet, so I apologize. That was a mistake on my part. Great showing, though, up to P8 right now on the debut. Still a lot of race left here to get it done right on the back of division. Murphy and JD very close. Looks like a little nudge into turn 1 by Murph.
Murphy.
JDM is going to fall back a slot. Looks like there might have been a little nudge there.
Yeah, a little
Not sure.
nudge.
It was hard to tell. We were just clipping back.
And I tell you what, I think ABR Murphy might struggle here to hold on to the position. He has the overtake mode engaged. He's got 30% of his DRS remaining, but JDM Haters pulls out of the slipstream, goes up the inside at the end of the Camel Straight, but Murphy again holding it round the outside through the right and left-handers at Les Combes. Fantastic defending by the Williams man, and he holds on to P2, and now 7.9 seconds is the gap to Boss Cookie. 5 laps remaining. Can he do it?
We'll see. GB, go take a look in the stream chat here. I want to give a big thank you to your Mumid. Thanks for following and joining in on the stream. We're glad to have you here, and a huge shout to Dub Z, our man and racer here in the SSR with 10 bits. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. We appreciate it, bud.
Looking at the other on-track battles at the moment, Verge has got himself up into P7 now on debut. A fantastic showing by the AlphaTauri driver. He's got past the Alfa Romeo of division, and he'll now be just looking to go to the end, keep it clean, and try and get a fantastic P7 on debut around what has been a pretty difficult circuit for some drivers this weekend, myself and yourself included, AJ.
Yep, rough day for me on the track there in Tier 2. Not my best showing this season. It's tough week for me. Got a lot going on. Didn't get a lot of practice time, and it showed, so no one to blame but myself. But we're going to come back strong next week, and Mercedes is going to try to make a showing. Division battling back here in the Alfa Romeo, all over the gearbox of the AlphaTauri. Has got the DRS down the straight. Not able to get it done here, but it's going to have a great run on Kimmel if he can get up the hill clean.
ABL Murphy has only managed to take half a second so far out of Boss Cookie's lead, so it's going to be a big ask if ABL Murphy can get up to the back of Boss Cookie and then get past him. But I am just going to have a look at the race director at this instance while AJ carries on spectating people, just to see what penalties the front two have in this race.
As predicted, Division gets the DRS down the Kimmel straight, able to take that position back. Back into P7 is Division. Good clean overtake there. Massive Afro also doing the same to Charisma. Alfa Romeo's going to try to link up here towards the end of the race. We've got a safety car.
Oh.
Someone has died on Arouge. Looks like Reflex Pilot off to the right. Big damage there, as you can see him in the runoff from Oleg's onboard camera. It's going to be some big mix-ups. 18 to 22 laps. The soft tires are about to come out for everyone, and ABR Murph gets the break of the day. This is going to put him right behind Boss Cookie here. We're going to have a scramble at the end of this race. This is going to be absolutely tremendous.
Yeah, Boss
Tough break for Boss Cookie, who had a good lead there,
yeah,
but that has now evaporated with a safety car.
And the problem that these drivers are going to have is I don't think anyone has fresh soft tyres. unless they haven't used them yet in the race, I don't think anyone is actually going to have a set of softs available to them. So ABR Murphy is really in the driving seat at the moment to take this win home, as he will have the quickest
GB,
drivers.
yeah. I was mistaken
virtual.
there from race control. It says it was a virtual safety car, not a full safety car. So we are back racing. No pit stops. No pit stops on that go around.
And one thing actually that's interesting there, ABR Murphy has actually dropped back from Boss Cookie under that virtual safety car. Although we do see Boss Cookie.
Yeah, that's probably going to be to the Delta issue. Oh, but Boss Cookie collects a 3-second penalty there.
Yeah, I'm going to have a look at the penalties now for you to see what sort of penalties the two at the front have, because that could be absolutely crucial for how close the Williams of ABR Murphy actually needs to get to Boss Cookie. If Cookie has a lot of penalties more than Murphy, Murphy might as well just have a little stroll and just basically stick within a certain time of Boss Cookie. Let's see what penalties these guys have.
Alright, let's take a look here.
Boss Cookie has at least 3 seconds. I'm yet to see Murphy get a single warning, let alone a penalty, so very impressive by him.
Alright, I'm taking a look at the penalties now. 6 seconds for the racing point of Boss Cookie. Murphy with 3 seconds. 3-second penalty for Murphy. And Neymar behind him also... I'm sorry, that's JDM Haters with 3 seconds. Neymar, big sets of penalties there. 9 seconds for Neymar. Payox Kings in the Renault behind him, not a single penalty. So Payox looking to make a big jump here if he can stay close.
Yeah, and it's also very important to know then that in the battle for the lead, Murphy needs to be within 3 seconds of Boss Cookie as it stands to take home the win. And right now he's 7 seconds behind, so he has closed in on the Racing Point driver, but arguably not quick enough right now. So he really needs to put his foot down if he wants to get this win today. But back behind, I think the main battle to keep an eye on here is Pies Kings going down the Camel Straight. He pulls alongside BRL Murphy, and well, he's got the move done before they even reach the end of the straight. Very good driving by the Renault man there.
Well, this is going to be huge for Payox Kings here. If he can get within 3 seconds of JDM, I think he might be able to jump him as well. As JDM has a 3-second penalty, the Renault completely penalty-free at this time. We could see a big jump here. One more up, a podium for the Renault if he can close the gap.
Yeah, and he's only just over 3 seconds behind at the moment. So Pies Kings with a really good chance of picking up a podium here and getting a taste of that champagne at the end of this race. But we only have 2 more laps left after Boss Cookie crosses the line shortly. He's currently coming up towards Blanchemont. You'll see it on the mini-map. And yeah, Boss Cookie looking pretty primed to get this win at the moment, but it will probably come down to penalties as we see Murphy almost gained another second on this lap. He needs to gain quicker than that though if he wants to win based on the current penalties we know each driver has.
Yeah, like we were talking about, Payox Kings right on the cusp there, just tenths of a second separating him from a 4th place to a podium finish. So he's going to have to press here. He's got Neymar right in the gearbox. Neymar's got a chance to get by him here on the Kimmel Straight, so it could be a toss-up. But all he's got to do is keep up within 3 seconds of JDM Haters. He's going to jump them both anyway, so he's got to be real careful here.
While you were talking there, we had some yellow flags as SSR Hamilton has had another spin. He's lost half of his front wing from that. And, well, what started off as a fantastic debut from Hamilton has gone a little bit south recently. He's now down into P13, and with that damage, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him pit, which he does now. As to the other debutant, Verjay, within half a second of division, as you see, Hamilton's actually retired now. He's out of the points already, and he's decided to call it a day. So a sour end to what was a very good podium as well. Debut, sorry, as we see Vojay's been spun around there, fighting for position with division. The two of them making contact. Can't really see who was to blame for that one. I'm sure the stewards will look into it, but Vojay, I think he went for the dive bomb, to be honest. I think he went for it a bit too late, And, well,
Fair to notice there too with the rejoin to track that was very close to the cars coming up behind him. SSR Charisma, Massive Afro. That might be something that'll get reviewed as well. Remember, guys, if you're listening to the stream and you're a driver, be sure that the driving line is clear, the racing line is clear when you rejoin the track. You don't want to be held responsible for a dangerous rejoin. That is definitely penalties, and it does get looked at, guys.
yeah.
Be careful with that. Tough break, though. I know it's at the end of the race here, and with that spin, it's unfortunate. You know, they're trying to get back up there and not lose too many positions.
Yeah, Verge, though, still in P10, it's still points finish, and you never know, with penalties of the drivers around him, he might gain a couple of positions. He might lose some as well, but luckily no damage on that AlphaTauri. He'll look to try and get past Afro and Charisma on the final lap if he can. But real shame there, battling over P7, and it just went a bit wrong for him there. So
yeah, GB, while we were discussing that little mix-up there, Zampa, having a rough day on the grid, puts an exclamation point on the fastest lap, 143.1, well ahead of our fastest time today. We know Zam's fast here. Looks like he maybe got tangled up a little early, but putting an exclamation point here in the last few laps of the race, saying, this is where I run fast. Too bad he couldn't complement that with a full race. Tough break for Zampa in the
I'm still riding
today.
I'm riding on board at the moment with Verge. There's a three-way scrap over P8 at the moment between Afro, Verge, and Charisma, and they are fighting hard here. The three of them. It's very good racing to watch this. And well, Charisma has lost 2 places on the Camel Straight there as Afro jumped up to P8, Verge up into P9, Charisma dropping back into P10, and the 3 of them I'm sure will fight hard over the rest of this lap. But we jump on board with the leader at the moment. Boss Cookie comes round the final corner, crosses the line. He crosses the line in first place. Will that be enough for the win when penalties are taken into account? It will, by 1.6 seconds over ABR Murphy, who gets P2 for the Williams. Just not quite able to gain the time after that late pit stop onto the soft tyres. JDM Haters takes P3, Paz Kings 1.7 seconds behind him in P4, so the Renault not getting a taste of champagne today. BRL Neymar, sorry, in P5 with Monkey P6. Neymar.
GB, we're looking at a jump here. We're going to look at a jump. Division, Massive Afro, and Voye. I think Voye is shorter on the penalty times. We could see a jump here.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it.
And we do.
Yeah.
P8.
P8 on debut. Good showing there. Could have been P7 potentially, but P8 still a fantastic result. As we see his teammate Craig Conley jump both Afro and Charisma into P9 there, beating Afro by 26 thousandths of a second. So very impressive by Craig Conley there to get into P9 ahead of Massive Afro. But wow, pretty exciting race out at the front. We didn't quite have the battle between Murphy and Boss Cookie we were perhaps hoping for towards the end of the race. Murphy not quite able to overturn that time difference they had after his pit stop and after going from the mediums to the softs. But Boss Cookie, very impressive today, AJ. Very good race on the Racing Point driver.
There we got Zampa coming in for the completion, guys. Great race today. That was an exciting couple of mix-ups, little turnarounds there, a few people bumping and banging, but all in all, that was a really good race. Craig Conley, like I mentioned earlier, quietly moving up the grid to get driver of the day. Great work by Craig Conley today.
Yeah, it was a fantastic showing by the 2 AlphaTauri drivers, with one of them making a debut and Craig Conley recovering from a slightly annoying qualifying session for him to get driver of the day and finish in P9. So very impressive. But now, as we look at the final race results today, it is Boss Cookie who takes the win from ABR Murphy. Boss Cookie converting that pole position into the win as well. JDM Haters made the position to finish in P3 for Red Bull, making it 3 different teams on the podium today, with Pies Kings in P4. BRL Neymar wasn't able to convert the Racing Point 1-2 into a 1-2 finish. He finishes down in P5 in the end with 12 seconds of penalty, ultimately costing him. Monkey finishes in P6 with second, Williams. There's a strong showing for both Williams and Racing Point today, with division in P7 for the Alfa Romeos. Then we have Verger on debut taking a P8. Craig Conley, his teammates in P9 after starting down in P15. Afro rounds out the top 10. He dropped back a bit from that P6 that he started in. Then we have, for the rest of the grid, Charisma recovering from a start in P17 to finish P11. So another good race there by the McLaren driver, which didn't get as much praise as it perhaps deserved. Then you got Chalupa in P12, Oleg 13, Halo 14, Zampa had a bit of a shocker today. I'm sure he'll admit to you. He finishes P15, SPL confirmed 16, Hamilton 17, Reflex 18, and Kurt in 19. And now we'll look.
The drivers filling in now for interviews. Guys, as you come in, please tick the box at the top. That way we can get you all on the audio. I'm going to get Conley in here as well since he's driver of the day. We'd really like to get him in and ask him some questions too.
Yeah.
Stealthily snuck up the grid today for that. Yeah, big shout out to everybody that tuned in before we start these interviews. Got up to like 28, 29 viewers. That's tremendous. Thank you so much for joining us. We had a few new follows tonight, so thank you guys for following. If you're interested in racing with us, go to the website there, follow up on the Discord, get out here, talk to us, get known. We will be doing another test race here shortly, probably coming up in a week or so, to get some reserve seats filled. So don't be shy. Get in there and get tested, and we look forward to seeing you there. We got the drivers in now. All of my drivers that just came in. Have you ticked the box?
Yeah, I did.
All right, let's
Picked it up with a bit of an echo
this.
as well.
Okay, GB, take us out.
Off with you, Boss Cookie. I mean, what a race, pole position to win. I mean, take us through your race today. It was practically perfect from you.
Yeah, practically. I picked up 2 penalties, which wasn't ideal. I'm just glad that Murphy picked up his 1. Got a good lap in qualifying. Realized that Murph was probably going to be my main competition because he was mediums at the start. Did a really, really good first stint to pull away from him a bit, and then my second stint was pretty much perfect. My hands hurt. Yeah, it was a sweaty race. I swear to God, every week this league pushes me really hard. But yeah, Murphy did a really good job making the alternate strategy work. I don't think the alternate strategy is really good around here. I think he would have been better off just doing the normal one. But yeah, it was a good race. It was just about pace management, trying not to get penalties and bring it home.
Yeah, we saw you definitely had a lot of pace today. We saw you absolutely charging after making your pit stop to close that gap down to ABR Murphy. That was probably what won you the race today as well. Managing to close in so much on him on those fresh tyres. We'll go to you, JDM. You managed to get on the podium today. Pretty good race, considering everyone else around you sort of had a bit of a mare. Obviously, a good battle with people around you on the grid as well. Take us through your race. It's a good haul of points you've got there for the P3 and obviously a podium as well. AJ, I'll let you talk to driver of the day, Craig Conley. Fantastic drive by him today.
Yeah, tremendous drive. Conley, always a contender here. He's made quite a few races here at the end. He's worked his way up from the top today, very stealthily, moving up the grid, quietly picking people off, and then he finds himself up towards the top. What was the strategy going in today, Craig? I saw you start on the mediums, so you had kind of an alternate strategy to most of the people on the grid. Give us a little insight into what you were thinking about going into the race and about how you finished up.
I was just trying to I did a strategy before with mediums to soft, and it worked with PPR. But yeah, I mean, it was just
Craig,
like just stay out of
Craig, can
trouble.
you tick the box for us, man? I think the stream's saying they can't hear you
Oh wait, yeah.
in the
Hear
party
me now?
menu there. Tick the box. All right, I think it's because you ended your stream. Your personal stream might have kicked you off the included audio. Everybody hear him now? Can we get a yes, no in the stream? Let's give it a go again. Go ahead and let us know what you were talking about there. Let's see what you're doing.
Yeah, it was good. I just stuck with the strategy, just don't get in trouble, and usually I end up a higher placement, but this time it didn't. I mean, these guys are so quick today; it was insane. So I tried to just kind of hold them out and give it my best. So and I did, but it wasn't fast enough. It's insane.
Oh, tremendous, tremendous. All right, great race today, Conley. Like I said, very stealthily. You snuck up the grid there. I noticed you kind of creeping up, and then before I knew it, you were there. You were in the mix of things. So congratulations on Driver of the Day. Big run for you today. We look forward to seeing you back at the top of the grid next week.
Thank you, man. Good race.
All right, big shout out to everyone that tuned in today. Like I said, we had about 3 or 4 new follows. Thank y'all so much for joining us and supporting the stream. Dubsy in there with some bits as well. Big shout out to Dubsy, one of our racers. Again, thank you for supporting the stream. As always, GB Sanderson is on top of it with the facts and the on-tracks mix-ups. It's always a pleasure to have him in the booth with me, so thank you, GB. Guys, we're going to be right here tomorrow for Tier 3. And as you know, if you've seen any of our previous Tier 3 action, it's always spicy. There's always a lot of mix-up. And Spa is just an exclamation point on that with the uphill battles and down the hill mix-ups. So, guys, be right here tomorrow. Don't miss out on Tier 3. We've had tremendous support over the 2 streams tonight, and we can't thank y'all enough. So let's get that same kind of turnout for Tier 3. They always put on a good show, and we want to thank you again. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we're going to see you right here tomorrow night for Tier 3.